taking good care. Hey, beat that green shirt, man. Come on, man. Come on. Get you together. I'm telling you. I get you together. So look at that. Appreciate it. Hey. I'm feeling okay.
Yo, what's good with y'all?
What's up?
On the right side of bed, no.
Oh, now you want to sing this song?
We want to get to the part. Walk with me.
That's crazy. Hey, we live on Facebook right now, so shout out to Facebook. Shout out to everybody that like the agency page.
Shout out to Facebook.
What's up,
Can I
Facebook?
share this to my Facebook?
Yeah, we can get some people watching.
And share it when you're not talking, though.
Yeah,
you see, Perry's the king of multitasking, but he ain't really a good multitasker, though. Like, he thinks he's better at it than he actually is.
Yo, I'm never using your computer again. I'm never using your computer again for a meeting.
Why?
All the tabs.
Bruh, it was like 100 tabs.
I
lost my Zoom meeting. I couldn't find it. People were talking to me and I couldn't see them.
He got more.
Like, never again.
Does he got more than I do?
Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous.
Oh.
They don't even look like tabs. There's so many of them don't even look like tabs. I was like, what's happening at the top? What's happening?
That's funny. I don't like how I look on my camera, but whatever.
You look fine.
So y'all can see it's me. We here with Perry. We also have Carlton. And then off the mic, we have D Lavender.
What's up, y'all?
Yeah, true facts.
D Lav.
So yeah, we back with another episode, man. Hopefully you guys have already gone in and followed us on the podcast. We're on Spotify, we're on Anchor. We're gonna be everywhere else really soon. We're just waiting for the distribution to go out.
That's
but
dope.
yeah.
We places I ain't even never heard of.
You ain't never ain't never heard of Spotify?
No,
Come on now.
I don't know what that is.
I've never heard of Anchor too.
Oh yeah. Well, they ain't really give us no money, so we ain't got to keep on talking about them. Yeah, but shout out to Anchor though, because that's how we're distributing our podcast. So
there it is. And we have Perry Jenkins. You didn't introduce him.
I did. I said Perry first.
Oh, did you?
Perry with the tabs.
She didn't understand because you didn't say Perry to go. She didn't know who you was talking about.
Jesus Christ.
Because we can't see you.
All right.
Just headphones.
But now we're here. We got some important things to talk about. So I don't know. I'm not gonna really say too much. I'm gonna let Perry and Carlton.
Are we talking about how Carlton is using his tippy toes while he's sitting down?
Darkness.
Come on, guys.
That's
Real
crazy.
men, real talk. That's what we're talking about. Real men, real talk.
We had a really good Real Men Real Talk earlier this week.
We did.
Yeah.
Actually Tuesday.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit.
Perry, you had a little bit to say.
I always have something to say. I usually try to stay more reserved so that y'all can speak because I'll just keep going and going and going. But yeah, the Real Men Real Talk this past Tuesday was amazing. I thought me myself, I'm a married man, so we had a lot of conversations about being married and
successes,
dealing with marriage, and the highs and the lows. In the room, it was a lot of lows.
That's a lot of lows, bro.
There was a lot of conversation about the lows at first. It was kind of a little bit discouraging.
Well, I feel like
having reality checks about their marriage.
No, I just think that like when you going through relationship issues, you always go tell your friends, and it's like you make it seem like it's the worst thing ever. But that's just because like all the good stuff is just so regular. So that's not gonna be top of mind and whatnot.
That's a good point.
And nobody had a monopoly on, I did this. You actually found a lot of commonality in.
Yeah, but I mean, ultimately, I feel like it was really impactful. I feel like a few marriages might have got saved in there.
Definitely, definitely the one guy for sure.
Mr. Gregory made a point during that conversation that I thought was really interesting. We was talking about marriage and really trying to sustain marriage and things like that, and the goods and the highs and everything like that, but. The people that have been married for the longest amount of time was real silent. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they didn't have a lot to say, and so it make you question, like, are these people happy? Like, or they've been married for 40 years.
Married is happy though, so I mean, it can go either way. I mean, saving marriage, but also bring you to a realization that maybe I need to dig a little deeper and see what's going on with my marriage.
But a lot of those older guys, they were saying, you all think you're watching a movie. I mean, nothing is perfect, and there was some initial thought that marriage had to be 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. And the older guys were saying, nah, that's not how it works at all. It's learning over a course of a period of time, each other, finding balance, trusting in your faith in God, um, learning to um, share experiences, um, be open to change, be open to um, dealing with success and failures in your marriage. And so when some of the younger guys were talking, one guy said, I thought I was supposed to do 1, 2, 3. Another person said, I thought I was supposed to do this. And because I had a child, I had to stay in the marriage. The older guys were like, no, you don't got to do that. You got to be happy first. You got to make sure that you are balanced,
Absolutely.
that you're right. Then when you come together as one, you try to work on that together.
And really, I think that that's the beautiful thing about Real Men Real Talk is that it's just guys coming together and talking about things that's happening in their lives and whatnot. Because sometimes you just be lost. You don't really know what to do. Like, dude, I really felt like he was alone in saying, yo, I don't know if this is what marriage is supposed to feel like. And I saw the look of relief on his face as more and more people was like, nah, I had that feeling in my marriage too. Or I felt that too. He got up and he hugged Mr. Gregory, like, yo, thank you so much for saying that. So I don't know. I think that we kind of just started talking about Real Men Real Talk. And if anybody's tuned in and they don't know what it is, like, how would you guys describe it?
Real Men Real Talk is originally started out of the barbershop talk. And many people have heard various versions of barbershop talk. But what we like to think of it as a safe space for Black men to talk about their issues, mental problems, marriage problems, a job, physical, spiritual, whatever it is, because the barbershop initially used to be a place where not only were you getting your hair cut, getting your face groomed or what have you, but you'd have young and old in one place talking about anything from politics to religion, to girlfriends to politics. And so everything in between. You also have women there that have brought their children. You had seniors in there. Maybe they're getting their hair cut or they're just sitting on the sideline, just, being amongst the crowd. And so that evolved into what we now call Real Men Real Talk. We have done a hybrid version of this where we've met in person and we've also done it via Zoom, virtual. It's just an opportunity for guys to open up, show their feelings, express their emotions, and get some support from others.
I think that was a very great explanation. I don't really know how to follow that, but yeah, it's definitely just an opportunity for men to come together and just have those real conversations that we probably should be having more often for real.
Yeah,
we don't really have. So it really is like an intentional. It's a way for us to be intentional about having these conversations that help us, get a little bit more uncomfortable, but also helps us grow. Anybody works
and
out.
heal and heal. And Mr. Gregory mentioned that. He said it's not so much about helping you, but about helping himself or helping you, as in I rather than you. And then I also thought it was important because we showed emotion. We saw a person that looked like us, that had the same experiences as us, to be able to really capture your own thoughts and your own feelings. I mean, I said, women do this all the time. Women get together, over a glass of wine. They sit up all night and talk about their problems. Men don't do that. We were not taught to do that.
And then the other thing is, what I'm saying, it's not just talking about our problems more so than it is like providing solutions to those problems. Like a lot of times, man, like ain't nothing happening that's new. You know what I'm saying? Somebody probably been through what you're going through right now. And it's always great to have someone to lean on or to refer to when you're going through some type of situation or learning how they got through, how they cope with different things. You know what I mean? And Malcolm said something because we kind of talked about this right after the meeting that we had or whatever. And he was like, it's not always just about, the negatives that come with mental health and mental wellness, but it's the positives too. Like, man, like, how you feeling? I'm feeling great. Like, this is a good space I'm in right now. Like, I don't want to talk about, what I'm saying, I'm down in the dumpster, I'm going through this. Like, I'm really in a good space. And the way I got to this good space is X, Y, and Z. So those are, those are some of the conversations we have during those Real Men Real Talks as well.
Brett, some of the best advice I've ever gotten regarding mental health came from other men telling me things that they do to relax or to like clear their mind or to take care of themselves. And like that has nothing to do with talking about their trauma or the things that's in their closet or any of that type of stuff, So yeah, I 100% agree with me in saying that,
What also is good about
nobody's
this.
gonna laugh. That was funny. Forget y'all.
I try my best not to laugh at your funny stuff. So,
but I think
that's not good for my mental health.
What's also positive and good about this opportunity is that we are doing it over a meal. And there's something about breaking bread with, a person having a meal, dinner, lunch, even breakfast, and having open conversation. It really soothes literally the mind, soothes the heart, because you hear people open up and about things that you never thought they would say or even knew of, and that's important.
And the dope part about this last one that we had, we could talk about the one upcoming here in a second, but the dope part about the last one that we had was you can tell, like at the beginning, how people are kind of reserved and they don't really want to say too much because they don't know everybody or surround them and things like that. So it's not as safe at first, it seems like to some people. But as soon as one person, starts to open up a reveal, then everybody in the room then starts to do the same, you know what I mean, and fall in line. And it was one gentleman, he was like, hey, man, listen, I don't want to hear this cliche stuff that y'all giving me right now. He was like, I need help. I'm dealing with this. I'm dealing with my marriage, my
help
kids.
Me.
He was like, I want to make sure I leave here and say I came for a reason, you know what I mean? And after that, people was really willing to really get into what they're going through as well, or what they can do to help him and things like that. So, when we say real men, real talk, like it's not just a cliche. Like we really get into those real tough conversations and we really become vulnerable and things like that. You know what I'm saying, during these conversations. So it's definitely, if you haven't been to one before, you want to tune in. You know what I mean? You want to at least give it a try to see what it does for you, because it does make you feel a lot better after you leave. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
And not only that, like we want to also add to that we are creating a safe space for healthy conversation, but also support. So there's opportunity to be connected to resources, etc., beyond that conversation. So we want to be able to stay in touch with you and follow up with you, just to see, check in on you. It's not just like a one-time thing. You can come to this event and you're never going to hear from us again. The conversation keeps going, and then anything else that you need to help in terms of support is also available.
It's amazing because, people that come to one event, they come back to the next one, and it's not like we have to reintroduce ourselves. We can just pick up the conversation and keep on going.
Brotherhood.
Yeah, a lot of brotherhood going on.
Brotherhood.
And we talk about this all the time. We say, there ain't no space for men to talk, or, we need to talk about our mental health and everything. So all right, here it is, and it's free. So come out to it.
And I'd also like to, even though we didn't have it this past time, our two facilitators, both in person and virtual. Virtual is Mo Giles, and in person has been Jewel Woods. They have both been great facilitators. And, the last time we met in person at Stadium, the conversation was very intense. We were talking about fathers and whether their dads were in their lives or not, and how that kind of built or diminished their relationship with their own children. What do you think, Malcolm? Because that was partly your piece too.
Well, what do I think about the dads? Nah, man. I mean, I'm gonna be real about it, and I think that we really need to just have a whole episode that talks about fatherhood. But working here and leading the fatherhood initiative has been a very interesting experience for me, because I didn't have the best relationship with my dad while he was still here on earth. And like the last week right before he died was probably like the best time that we had, like over the course of our entire relationship. And I got a lot closer to him after he died, on just learning more about him and all that. And I'm a father myself, so I thought that to answer your question, Carlton, I thought the conversation was really I don't want to say powerful because I feel like that word gets overused, but it had impact for me.
Impact. I'm about to say
Yeah,
impactful.
it was very impactful because it was reflecting on our relationship, and then I mean, just the personal work I did for my own. It's like, all right, how does me understanding what me and my dad's relationship look like when I'm thinking about me and my daughter's relationship? But you know, sometimes, bro, like if you just hear other people talking about things, then it'll trigger thoughts inside of your own head, and it makes you like, it's like, oh, I never even considered that. And I got a lot of that feedback afterwards. So, me personally, and it could be because I'm over the fatherhood initiative, but the real dad, real talks are always my favorite. The one that we had at AUS last fall, the ones that we had over Zoom during the pandemic, and then at Stadium. Those are always my favorite, even though this one was really good too.
I'm most excited though for this one that's coming up July 15th. This Our State of Mind, Real Men Real Talk. It's a virtual one, but it's national, right? We're reaching out to all of our markets. We have some of our.
It's the first time we've done that,
and our honorary chairs that we brought to the table with this one is pretty crazy. You know, we got Royce the 5'9", really is invested in what we got going on with this. He's done a promo video for us. He has his foundation involved as well, the Ryan Montgomery Foundation. We got Penny Hardaway wants to be a part of this. You know what I mean? Everybody knows Penny Hardaway, former NBA All-Star. He's the coach of the University of Memphis. We got Bubba Wallace, the black NASCAR driver who we know have been dealing with some things publicly, but he has a story that he wants to tell as well. And, of course, Dr. David Marion. So bringing all of them he's the president of the Omega Psi Phi fraternity. I think Carlton know about them a little bit. But bringing all of them to the table.
And he's also
a mental health specialist.
He has a PhD.
Right? But just bringing all of them to the table on one call, you know what I mean? To give their stories, to give their feedback, their advice, to really help us to have this conversation, to let people know that it's okay to have these conversations, it's really important. So I'm excited about this one. Like we're talking like we're going from LA all the way over to Philly to Jackson. I'm jumping all around. I'm not great at geography, but we got people on like jump from Memphis,
all four corners.
Yeah, man, like Pittsburgh. Every city that we have any type of presence. Chicago, of course, everywhere in Ohio. Detroit. Shout out to Detroit. What up, though? That's like everybody, you know what I'm saying, that we're reaching out to in these different cities that are being a part of this call right here. It's gonna be really impactful. So this is one that you don't want to miss. And if you didn't see it already, if I didn't say it already, the register is really simple. You just go to RealMenRealTalk.info to get registered for that call, so you can make sure you're tapped in and you get all the information and get the Zoom link and all that good stuff. But the unique thing, I don't want to talk too much, but the unique thing about this one is that we're gonna have these watch parties throughout all these different cities, right? We want people to host watch parties so that when this call is over, this conversation can continue. So I think that's the unique part about this one, that we're gonna have so many conversations going at so many different places that it's really gonna spark, that change of how African American men interact with each other, I believe. So I'm excited about this.
What can the people expect from that event? What give a little taste of what's going to happen at the event or during the event? What can we expect?
And I got a question for you after she's done with that too.
So the first hour, you'll have those four panelists speak, give their impressions of their state of mind, what real men, real talk really means from a mental perspective, and quite frankly, what they can do or what we should be doing to address mental health among African American men. That's an important topic because, as we said earlier on the show, Black men don't like to talk about their mental well-being, what's going on.
Or don't know how to.
Right. And so with Dr. David Marion, with Jewel Woods, and Royce the 5'9", Bubba Wallace, and Penny Hardaway, we're going to try and figure it out. So the first hour will be a discussion and interaction among the panelists. Then the second hour, we're going to open it up to the present audience because we're on Zoom. Those who are going to be there live, and we can get up to 1,000 individuals. We're almost halfway there. And those who are viewing, well, they can view via YouTube and Facebook. We're going to take questions, and hopefully we'll get a cross section of questions from all over the country, and we're going to get some feedback from them. They can make comment or they can ask questions of the panelists. But as Perry said, we want to continue the conversation after this particular event. So throughout the markets that we're in, Atlanta and Jackson, we've already talked about doing something. We were on the call earlier today with a potential sponsor, and we talked about, hey, you can exclusively sponsor Real Men Real Talk in Atlanta or Jackson. And we're going to do that all over. So whether it's Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Detroit, Memphis, we want the conversation to continue. We want to pair up barbers and mental health professionals, because I think that's one thing we didn't talk about, Perry. And if you want to go into that, here in Columbus, we are training barbers and beauticians on how to identify the red flags when it comes to someone's mental state that may be sitting in their chair. And so this certification gives them the opportunity to not only have these discussions with their clients, a barber cutting someone's hair, or a beautician styling a woman's hair, to identify when maybe they need some help and suggest resources for them. So in our live Real Men Real Talk on August 10th, which will be following this event here, we will place a mental health specialist and a barber in a breakout room where there will be small discussions about their state of mind. But Thursday, July 15th at 7 p.m., Real Men Real Talk, our virtual summit, our state of mind.
1,000 slots. We're trying to fill them. So we're trying to see what
let's go.
city going to show up. What city going to show out that day.
And I got an
1,000.
idea. I mean, I really got an inkling that Detroit is going to show
Detroit
up.
going to do it. Come on, man. Come on, Columbus.
Like.
They ain't gonna do better than Columbus.
Come on, Columbus.
Right.
Don't tell me
Detroit,
Detroit
DC,
gonna show
where
up,
you
man.
at?
I've been looking
Come
at
on
these
now.
numbers.
ATL.
I've been looking at these numbers.
Come on
Detroit
now.
ain't
You trying to put
playing
a
with
battery in
Detroit
my
ain't
back,
playing.
bro.
Detroit ain't
Philly.
The numbers don't lie though. So
And then in
Come on,
Jackson,
bro.
I just got off the phone with them in Jackson. They about to hit the ground running here tomorrow. So I don't know. It might be an uptick from Jackson, Mississippi.
Hey,
We
What
got
one of those-
flyers out
show
there
up?
too. We got flyers.
One
out
of the
there.
things that people have been asking a lot on social media is, why did you pick these people as the moderators? Like, how did you guys arrive at that conclusion for all of them? So
Yeah.
I just wanted you guys to be able to speak to that a little bit.
I could speak to most of them. So first of all, the one that came on board first was Bubba Wallace, and with us working in Charlotte, Charlotte is our largest market outside of Columbus, Ohio. Believe it or not, Charlotte is doing great things. We just had a great event out there in Charlotte, cooking with dads. But to stay on
Shout out
topic,
to the dads.
yeah, shout out to the dads, man. But to stay on topic, Bubba Wallace is a partner with one of our largest sponsors, Novant Health. And when Novant was talking to us about some of the things that we were doing and what Bubba Wallace was looking to get more involved with, they suggested that we reach out to his team and talk about how we could work together, because we have some of the same aligned missions and values and goals. So after we got a chance to speak with Bubba Wallace and his team, it was a layup. You know what I mean? It was a match made in heaven. Some of the things that he's looking to do, some of the things we're already doing, it all worked out. So Bubba Wallace really came on board to support us in anything that we have going on. He will be at the Walk in Charlotte this year with his car wrapped in the African American Male Wellness Agency.
Okay, then. Okay.
Yo, listen, the agency is all about saving Black men's lives, and Bubba Wallace
Big up.
is one of our biggest supporters. So shout out to him.
So
Bubba Wallace.
Royce the 5'9", again, he has a platform, the Ryan Montgomery Foundation in Detroit, where he's really just trying to change that stigma like we are. You know what I mean? There's a lot of synergy with these different individuals. He's trying to change that stigma that comes with Black men and mental health. And you guys heard his music. He's always been conscious about Black people and Black men in particular. So we talked to him and his team about possibly being involved. and he wanted to be involved in any way he could help. So
you know what's crazy about Royce the 5'9" for me personally is that like when I would be going through my mental health stuff or whatever, I always turn to music. Music has always been like one of my biggest therapies and whatnot. And I used to listen to Royce the 5'9's music to like help me to deal with my own stuff. So it's kind of crazy for him to be on this like panel and whatnot.
That's dope.
And the executive director for Ryan Montgomery Foundation happens to be our city coordinator for Detroit. So we kind of had a connection that way too. So that's how he got involved. Penny Hardaway, basically the same thing. We working in Memphis. We working with Chief Watkins out there, Kenny Hampton. He's from Memphis, been in Memphis as well. They had the relationship with Penny Hardaway. They told him what we were doing, and he was like, "I need to be involved with that." You know what I mean? People hear what we're trying to do in our story and what we're working on, and they want to be involved in some capacity because at the end of the day, we're saving Black men's lives. You know, right now, Black men are at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to life expectancy, and we got to change that. And that's everything. That's physical health. That's mental health. That's all of the above. So that's how they all got involved. I'll let Carlton speak to Dr. David Marion.
Yeah, Dr. David Marion. I would call him Grand Bossless David Marion. He is the national president of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. And as you well know, amongst fraternities of the Divine Nine, Black men have to talk about their mental well-being. And we have a program within the organization itself called My Brother's Keeper, which we deal with mental
Y'all got
health.
My Brother's Keeper too?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, My Brother's Keeper. And so we're talking about mental issues. It's a lot. This is our state of mind. And so being that he is also a behavioral health specialist, has a PhD, it's right on time because he has impact on not only the fraternity nationally, but internationally, because we are all over the world. So
You got Marion Counseling Services in Jackson.
Yeah, out of Jackson. And so being this will be our first walk, he's going to participate. Hopefully the Qs all over the country will participate, specifically in Jackson. Hey, you got the Grand Boss list involved. So let's be a part of it.
Yeah, shout out to all the people that's having watch parties all over the country. I ain't going to be petty right now.
Hey, you know what? We got
a word from our
executive director. You want to jump on? Here you go, brother. I'm going to let you get the mic over here.
I'm just stopping in because I was supposed to be in a meeting that I can't be in, but Black men's health really matters nationwide.
Thanks, Marlon.
You got a proclamation, didn't we?
Yeah, so every year, annually here in Columbus, Ohio, since I believe 2016, the governor declares the month of August African American Male Wellness Month. So we have a whole month dedicated to Black men's health. And it's good to know that, despite whatever your political affiliations may be, that the powers that be are supporting this initiative on an annual basis. So we got that. We got another one last year, I believe, in Minnesota?
Nah,
Washington. My bad.
That's state of Washington
and Oregon.
And that was the one. Oregon. We don't even have a walk in Oregon. But it was somewhere we didn't have a walk at. But we don't even have a walk in Oregon, and they just was like, we're going to give you a proclamation. So it ain't too far off.
Oregon.
Yeah, and we definitely left off Seattle / Renton, Washington as one of our cities as well that we have involved. We named a bunch of cities, but Renton is coming as well. So, but yeah, man, July 15th, I'm excited.
July 15th.
I don't know if you can hear it in my voice or not, but I'm excited.
7 p.m.
And I want to see everybody get registered, man. If you
Real Men, Real Talk.
Get registered. It's easy.
And share it. Don't just
our state
sign
of
yourself
mind.
up. Sign your brothers up.
Hey,
sign your dad up, your cousins.
If you're listening to this
Everybody
podcast right now, or will hear the tape later on, sign up as you're listening to it. RealMenRealTalk.info. It's simple. Takes you right to the Eventbrite. You sign up, you're in line.
Yeah, all that. I would have hit the soundboard, but I forgot what the buttons do, and I didn't want to womp yo when I meant to applaud you. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, since we
but I was there in spirit.
Since we're still talking about it,
right.
Shout out to Perry.
Perry, he hit the button.
It don't matter. He said he hit the
Shout out
He
to
didn't hit
Malcolm
the-
too.
I knew
Shout
it
out
was-
What?
to Perry.
This is different. Thank you.
Let's go,
Shout out to
Malcolm.
Malcolm too.
I knew
Shout out to
everybody
Perry.
you
Come
did
on,
was
give
gonna
yourself
work,
an
man.
applause, Malcolm.
Oh yeah.
Perry.
Come on.
Yes. Perry is the master of encouraging.
Thursday, July 15th, 7 p.m. Real Men, Real Talk. Our state of mind.
Yo.
This show.
Hey, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man? What's up, man? How you doing? Hey, I'm doing good. You know what I'm saying? I've been looking out after myself, taking good care. Hey, we get that green shirt, man.